I'm Sam.
And I'm Greg.
We're human beings. And we like movies.
We'll be doing reviews of brand new releases,
Old classics,
entire sagas,
and even TV shows and video games.
This is Reaction Time. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 55 of Numa Numa Yay. I'm Numa Numa.
What is that? In case you're wondering why Craig's hello was so calm, just not 5 seconds ago, he screamed it to the point of massive gain peak.
Yeah.
But anyway, welcome to the Numa Numa podcast.
Yeah.
We have decided to pivot.
Yeah, I'm Numa Numa.
This is Yay. I am Numa Numa. Oh, I'm Yay. Numa 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 Yay. We pivoted. We're not doing movies anymore.
No.
And we're just reviewing Numa Numa.
Yep.
Covering Numa Numa
and then reviewing
the
our
video
covers
of the guy who does the Numa Numa dance.
And then we're reviewing our covers of Numa Numa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, yep. But before we get into that, today we're going to look at the movie source code.
That has nothing to do with Numa Numa Yay.
I wouldn't say nothing.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you why later. I better come up with something quick.
Just like Photoshop Jake Gyllenhaal into the Numa Numa guy.
You guys didn't know this, but this was actually Jake Gyllenhaal before he got his start. He lost 430 pounds for his role in Source Code.
Right.
A lot of people don't know that.
A lot
He
of people
did
don't know that.
Brokeback Mountain, gained 900 pounds, and then he lost
After
it all.
doing that movie?
Yeah, and then he lost it all for Source Code, which good for him, man. I mean, to put in that kind of work is crazy.
Oh, that's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. You couldn't even tell that he gained 900 pounds and then lost 435.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So, he came in at a muscular 550 pounds. He is absolutely shredded.
He's The Rock.
Yeah, I mean, basically, but twice the size and has hair.
Man.
So, good for him. I mean, can you ask for anything else?
No, I don't think you can.
Source Code.
Source Code.
2011.
2011.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Who is one of my favorites.
I love Jake Gyllenhaal.
He's so good.
Courtney started to watch this movie. This is what happened.
Okay.
I watched probably the first 20 minutes of this movie, and then I got home, and I was like, Courtney, I'm watching Source Code tonight. You can watch it with me, and I'll start it over, and we can watch it together.
Yeah.
Or I can catch you up, or you can not watch with me. She goes, tell me what's happened, and then I'll jump in. I was like, okay, great. And she's like, who's in it? And I'm like, Jake Gyllenhaal. She's like, oh, okay. She comes and sits on the couch. And I'm like, okay, so I'll rewind it to a certain part so you can kind of get a little bit of the feel for what's happening. And she just sits there and she's like, And I'm like, okay. It's just Jake Gyllenhaal being normal. Like, he's just wearing a shirt and she's just like,
He's not shirtless or anything.
no, he's just normal guy. And she's just sitting there next to me. And I'm like, hi, me here, husband. And she's just like, all right. Never watching a movie with her ever again.
With Jake Gyllenhaal.
Starring Brokeback Mountain,
Yep.
Beatty from Hunger Games, and lady from all horror movies ever from the early 2000 teens. Those are the three actors in this. Oh, and one other chick whose name. Wait, who plays Christina? Michelle Monaghan. She's a little spicy. If she wants to be, she's a little attractive. But what's she from? Kiss Kiss Bang Bang?
Yeah, she was.
I didn't realize that.
And she's much better in this.
She's a Mission Impossible Fallout?
Yeah, she's the one girl.
Well, I'm going to have to watch that again.
Bro, you don't remember?
No.
The one that's the off-site doing the helping the people or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, I remember. Yeah. Starring those four people and nobody else.
That's basically it.
There's really not a lot of people in this. I mean, there's some people on the train, but nobody does anything.
Who's the bad guy?
A rando.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Jimothy von Schwartz. His name is Michael Arden.
Okay.
And he was in Bride Wars in 2009.
Oh, nice. With other people.
We're never going to get invited to a movie premiere, Craig.
If you haven't.
He was in this movie with other people in a certain year.
Bride Wars is, isn't that, no, that's Bridesmaids.
He was in Numb Threers. He was in that show.
What?
Have you ever never watched Numb Threers?
Numb Threers?
Yeah. I think it's pronounced Numbers, But it's spelled like numb threeers.
No, I never saw it, but now I know
Numbers
what
is
you're talking.
actually a fun show. When my math teacher used to not want to teach math, which was close to every day, we used to watch Numbers.
Nice.
So.
Okay. Well, if you're going to watch this movie...
Well, this is the worst intro.
Don't look up who that was.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
it kind of spoils it.
Yeah. Yeah, who's the bad guy? Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to be talking about source code today. We'll do no spoilers for you for a little bit.
Yeah.
Just to say how we like it. And then we'll jump into spoilers. It's a quick movie.
Oh, yeah. It's like hour and a half.
Yeah, it's
At like the
hour
max.
33 and probably 10 minutes of credits at least.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it almost feels like a really long skit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll jump into it, but
It's kind of like a Groundhog's Day,
yeah.
but actiony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exactly
or
what it's
Live
like,
Free Die
actually.
Hard. Not
Yeah.
sorry.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow. Thank you.
No.
Live Die Repeat is what I was
Live, Die,
thinking.
Repeat.
Yeah.
Yep. And Edge of Tomorrow.
Yes.
Because they never could.
They never
confirm
decided which one it is.
Nobody knows. I love that movie. By the
such
way.
a good movie.
So good. Speaking of, I love that movie. Do you love this movie?
I love this movie.
I really liked this movie
It's
too.
so good.
It was, and I think part of the reason I liked it so much was because it was so short. And that's not like, it was so bad that I'm glad it was short.
No.
It's like
It didn't overstay as welcome.
It just did what it needed to do and it got out of there.
Yeah, it didn't go into this super huge backstory of all this other crazy stuff or explain how all of it works or anything.
Yeah.
It was just, here's this movie. We're going to have some fun.
Yep.
And
It gave you what you needed. It left you thinking a little bit, but not too much.
Yeah.
Because too much hurts.
yeah, but there was a little bit at the end there where
There was
you're
a
like,
little bit of end where I was
my
trying to
brain
figure
hurts a
that
little
guy
bit.
out for sure. But I liked it.
and you got to
know?
look at Jake Gyllenhaal,
And-
which
oh.
Courtney seemed to like.
Dude, what a guy.
Did she watch the whole thing?
No, she eventually
Okay.
left.
Oh, okay. Wasn't enough Jake Gyllenhaal shirtless.
I think so.
was just like,
she
ugh,
gave up. She
gross.
was like, "Oh wait, he's not taking his shirt off and kissing Heath Ledger. Never mind. Not for me."
I was so curious. She's going to need to watch Nightcrawler.
Really? Is he shirtless?
No,
Well, I'm not. She's not.
but
Gonna, she's
it's
not
a good
gonna want it.
movie.
No.
No, if anything, she's probably... He looks a little weird in that movie.
We need. I'm gonna need to watch Roadhouse with her because the only thing
Yeah.
I've seen of that is
Is
him
him
shirtless, and he's jacked to the
he's
gills.
jacked.
So, yeah. I mean,
Anyways, welcome to another episode of Talking About
this whole
Jake
thing
Gyllenhaal.
is so bad. Hi guys, everybody's listening to this and like, can you get to the movie part, please?
I give it a solid 9.1.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have not even thought about what I'm going to give it yet. I don't know.
I'm going to give it a solid 9.11. 9.1111.
I'm going to give it a 9.28.
Nice. Oh, not quite. A
Not the 3.
9.3.
No.
Okay. Right, obviously.
Because of plot holes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every
Anyway, you
movie.
guys, non-spoilery, this movie follows Jake Gyllenhaal, who's a dude on a train trying to solve a crime.
Yep.
The end.
The end. You don't want to say anymore.
And it's great.
It's super awesome.
And you will have fun watching it. It's so fast. It's literally the length of some episodes of television.
It's literally the length of some of our episodes.
I watched an episode of Game of Thrones that was an hour and 10 minutes long, and this was an hour and 20 minutes long. I mean, is it any different?
I think
No.
our Mario movie episode was longer than this movie.
Honestly, you're probably right. I didn't even think about that. So, I mean, this is like you're waiting in line.
Yeah.
Watch the whole movie.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, while you're at Disney.
you could literally watch this movie while you wait in line for Rise of the Resistance at Disneyland
Yes.
most days.
Yeah.
Usually the wait time's 70 to 80 minutes. So,
So if you can't, then watch Cloverfield.
yeah.
Yeah.
LOL. There's nothing else to say.
No.
Except for that it's
Go
really
watch
fun.
it.
It's a great early 20-teens movie.
What is it on?
Max.
Max.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And Nightcrawler's on nothing. So I'm going to have to rent it.
I mean, I have it.
Oh, then I'm going to have to borrow it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to
I
have
can
to do.
see if I can put it on my Plex account. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
You can.
Good luck. The only thing I've heard is that it takes a long time.
It takes a long time. And the 2 movies I put on there, I can't access anymore.
You're nailing it, bro. Worth your time. For sure. You want to jump into this?
Let's jump into this.
Okay, it's spoiler time. If you don't want to know what happens to Jake Gyllenhaal and the hot train lady, get on out of here.
He does become shirtless at one point.
If you guys have seen the movie, you know how funny that is.
Boom!
You can't say, oh gosh. It's too soon. Okay. You go, leave. Spoiler warning, folks.
Oh, man.
All right, Craig.
Anyways.
Visuals. Let's hop into that bad boy. I got one note.
Obviously, the train.
Explosion.
Yeah.
What? That's what my note says.
The first, 4 minutes.
Dude, okay, yeah. Okay. Jake Gyllenhaal wakes up on this train.
Yeah.
And he has no idea where he is.
No.
So immediately I'm like, this movie's awesome.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Right away, honestly, this is one of the best openings to a movie.
Yeah.
And it's simple, but it's so simple. So good. He wakes up, he's like,
whoa, what is happening?
Who is what? I'm not him. I'm not Sean. What? And it's all this stuff. All this stuff's going on. And he's like, I need to get out of here. I don't know what's happening. Boom.
And then
train explodes.
Such a good intro.
That I love stuff like that. And
yeah.
Like, that's in a way, that was kind of how The Impossible was. Mm-hmm. I knew The Impossible was like a disaster movie.
Right.
But you don't know what's going to happen. And then the wave comes and you're just like,
and then it's
like immediate jaw drop. And it's just go until the end.
Yeah.
Which is very similar to the pacing of this movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that's my only note.
Okay.
I thought the visuals were, I think they were super good average for the time, right? For 2011, they weren't distractingly bad or over the top, like this is the best visuals I've ever seen in a movie. No. They were good enough.
The slow motion looked really good.
Yeah, slow motion was cool.
Yeah. The actual train explosion, the trains exploding afterwards didn't look great, but like the actual explosion itself looked really cool.
The explosion looked good. My issue is that I have now learned so much about CGI from a certain YouTube channel that I'm so nitpicky now. But this explosion was far too dim. So if something were to actually explode like that, it would be so bright that the camera, it would all basically appear as white.
Yeah.
And we've got this really nice deep orange flame. So I'm like, oh, that's not realistic. But I'm like, oh, I don't actually care.
It wouldn't look as cool if it was just a bright light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the only other two things that I thought kind of stuck out to me that were good, or at least cool, was in one of the iterations, it's really close up and he's face to face with Christina, and in super slow motion, the explosion's like coming up from them, or coming up on him from kind of the side.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That was really cool.
And then
because he's kneeling on the. Isn't that when he's?
I think that's when he's handcuffed.
When he's handcuffed, yeah.
And so he's just kneeling, facing her, and it's just like.
And it's all slow motion.
That is cool.
Yeah.
And then I thought at the end when he's shirtless that it looked pretty good.
Yeah, it looked really good.
What I loved was
because
they said they had half his or part of his brain that was like still working, and you're like, oh, what? Like, do they just have a portion of his brain? Do they have his head? Do they have his whole body? And then they kind of show him, and you're like, oh, they have his whole body, and then it pans over, and it's like part of his torso, and it's like
kind of cut like this.
Yeah, it's like what? So
and his like whole scalp's like exposed.
Yeah. But I thought that was cool and looked good too. So
that's the only other note that I had was him seeing a different person for the first time was cool. Like just him looking in the mirror and it's a totally different person.
Yeah. And then it did it every single time. Yeah. And even at the very end,
he still looked different.
What were they looking into?
It's the sphere like thing.
Oh yeah. The bean. The Chicago bean. Yeah. He saw a different guy. That brings up so many questions.
Oh, so many questions.
When we get into the story, I will ask all these questions because I'm a little confused. But
so, what would you give the visuals?
I can't jump into like the 190s.
No,
at all. This felt like a low budget movie in a good way. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Where they did just enough and they probably didn't waste a lot of money. I'll give it a 1. I'm going to give it a 179.
Okay. I was going to give it a 180.
Okay. Cool. What is the budget of this movie?
Because I'd say like the sets of like where he was like in his imagination. Those were all cool.
Yeah.
And like when it expanded and stuff, that looked really good.
Yeah.
So
source code budget $30 million.
Wow.
$32 million. Which is so cheap. I'm very
cheap.
curious to see what the box office is. It's
I know.
gotta blow that out of the water. I would assume more. I don't know.
I don't
would
know.
say there's
not a ton of people that I know have seen it.
I guess so, but I would say it's got to be higher than 60.
It's probably higher than
But we'll get there.
Annihilation.
Yeah, higher than 43. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Okay, story.
Okay.
What do you got?
When he's talking to her,
Christina or the general?
Christina, and it's one of the times where he's been doing it a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying, where it's like a Groundhog Day. He basically relives this
Yeah.
experience on the train. He's trying to find out who blew up the train because they think he's going to also blow up more stuff. So if they
Yeah.
can find him, they can prevent stuff. But when he's talking to her and he's like, it's the same train, but it's different. And she's like,
Yeah,
deep. I'm hoping it's different. It's like, she
I
took that
thought
as
that was
like
funny.
this big sign,
Yeah.
and he's just like, it's the same train, but
Yeah.
it's different.
It's so funny.
It's like sad and funny at the same time because
Uh-huh.
she's like so emotionally attached to that.
Yeah. You know, this is, in a lot of ways, this is a time travel movie, right?
Yeah.
They say it's not time travel.
Yeah.
He says it's not time travel, it's time reassignment, which I thought was a really cool line, by the
is.
way. And you know what? I have started to like purposely accept the fact that time travel doesn't need to make sense. I don't need it to make sense.
No.
And in a lot of ways, sometimes it's better if it doesn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with Endgame even, I don't need it to make sense.
Yeah.
I
You
don't.
don't need it to.
It's time travel.
Yeah.
If it made sense, we'd be able to do it.
Oh, yeah,
You know what I mean?
100%.
So I think something like this is really cool. And what I really liked about this was that, and it's hard to explain like a lot of time travel is, but they're sending him basically it's this military branch kind of that is sending this guy back in time. But the military, the real world, is living this day in real time. So
Yeah.
this train exploded at around 8 a.m.
Yeah.
and they're worried that the guy's going to set off a bomb later in the day. And as he's going back and reliving this exact same moment in time, their time is still
They're
going
still going, yeah,
forward.
yeah.
And so they're like, you need to hurry up and
Yeah.
keep going back and find the bomber because we're not going back
No.
with you the whole time. We're not stationary. We're going to get to this point.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
It's very cool. And I like that he could explore in a way too.
Yeah.
You know, which doesn't really make any sense because
No.
if they're taking the mind of him, I could see like, oh, your brain remembers everything, right? You just
Yeah.
can't access it. But then how does he go outside of what he saw?
Yeah.
Right. But it's such a cool concept.
Well, and it's cool because it's like time recon. Like
yeah.
he's not, and he's like, I need to go back in time and change the future. She's like, you cannot change the future. You're just basically going back to study
Right.
the past because this has happened and it's set in time and there's nothing you can do to stop it or to
Right.
save anybody. We just need to find the bomber so that in real time we can go find that guy. And
Yeah.
I think that's really unique because
It's
a lot
so
of time
cool.
travel is to change the future,
Right.
right? So very cool.
Yeah, you can't. In a way, you can't do anything. You are creating the time loop rather than being
Exactly.
stuck in one. You're creating it so that you can figure it out.
Yeah.
I loved it. It's cool, really cool idea.
And what makes me sad in a way is that this is a great movie to set up a bunch of movies similar, but at the same time, how do you do it without making the exact same movie?
And
again?
once you
know
know
what I mean?
about it, does it lose its taste?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the idea is great. But
Yeah.
it's like, what else can you use it for?
Yeah. And
know.
and it's great because you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Right. He starts out, he's on the train, he's like, where am I? And everything like that. They made a source code too. It's like, oh, I know what's gonna happen in a way, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna relive it or something like
The
that.
only other thing is if they made a source code 2 and there's something with his his alternate reality, like going to, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that would probably get too complicated and it wouldn't turn out as a good movie.
No.
Just
and then
judging
you'd
by
probably ruin the
sequels.
first one
Yeah.
by even having it.
Yeah.
Which is why
So-
I'm sure they've never done anything else.
Yeah, I think it's good as a standalone. It's a really fun standalone. One question that I had that I don't know if you know the answer to, did they ever explain how he was able to take over, not the body, but just the position in time of Sean? Like, how did they replace him? Or is all of it?
No,
Because it's not a simulation, but it kind of is.
Yeah, that's kind of where it gets into the like. They said they knew who was on the train.
Yeah.
And they were able to access him. But I don't really I think all they're really doing is just inputting his brain into one of the people that was on there. And
that
then
matched, because they said that he matched the most.
Yeah.
Just overall with the guy.
And then they're replaying it. Because it's not like anything would be left of them, right? I mean, they would be bone and ash because they all would have been burned alive.
So it is a simulation. That's the part they didn't explain at all.
Yeah, it is a simulation,
what is it?
but you can break the simulation.
What I thought
in
was,
a way.
Yeah.
Because
and then
he goes off the train and finds the guy. Like,
yeah.
if it was a simulation, it would just been the train.
It would be the train, and
right?
and he'd leave, and it would be pixels. And
Right.
Yeah. So,
that's where it gets like complicated.
And it's almost like in Harry Potter where they're like to this day nobody knows how they did it.
Yeah, when
like,
Harry and Hermione just bring the
dragon,
the direct Norbert up, and it's like to this day they still don't know how they did it.
And that's just
okay. Well,
and I just accept it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I was just like, okay, cool.
To me, it's not. I don't think of it as a plot hole. It's just like that was a cool story.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, they almost made it so simple to where they're allowed to have plot holes. Because I think if you overcomplicate a story, you got to plan that thing out all the way, and you better have answers. But if you make something super simple like this, it's like,
yeah,
too bad you don't get all the information. We didn't plan that out, so
and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, that's it. But I love a couple of things that I loved. I loved that he was able to like create an alternate reality, which again they did not explain.
Nope. He's
just like, oh, I'm gonna die, and he's kissing her, and then he doesn't die. It's like, what? But why?
Maybe because he got shut off. Because I think at that moment she turns him off.
Yeah.
And so instead of coming out of it, since there's no explosion, I think he just continues.
Okay. The other thing I thought was cool was, for some reason, and I don't know why, the whole movie, when he's talking to the general or whatever via voice or face call, video call.
Yeah.
And you just kind of figure that he's talking to her in a video call, and she's talking to him in video call. So you just think that she can see him the whole time.
Yeah.
And then towards the end of the movie, it just like pans over to her screen. It's just text. Popping up. And it's like, duh.
Because she asks where he's at, and he explains it. She has no idea.
Yeah.
It's because it's just something he's created.
Yeah. So it's just interesting. And the only other thing that I'm curious about, the first time he dies and he goes into that pod, right? And he's like, who are you? Where am I? She's like, you know my name. Recall my name. And he's like, I don't know your name. And he's like, oh, I know you. You're so-and-so. I'm like, oh, so has he already been doing this a bunch of times up until this point, and his mind is getting
better,
sharper and sharper? Because then as the movie goes on, every time he's like, okay, I can go back in and do this. And he remembers things. So I'm like, oh, we're jumping in. I don't think the beginning of the movie is the first time.
No.
I think the beginning of the movie is like the 10th time. And he's just been going through it.
I wonder if it's the first time on the train. And I wonder if there was a lot of repetitive of like, this is who I am.
Like a training.
This is where you are kind of thing. And then because she shows like the cards or whatever. And then he starts to pick up like
a queen,
who she
2 9s,
is.
a 4, and a 3.
Yeah.
I remember it.
So I don't know. I don't know if it's the first time on the train or if Yeah, I'm not sure.
What's so funny, the opening shots of this movie, just kind of during the opening credits, where they're basically doing a bunch of helicopter shots of like Chicago and the surrounding area. And for some reason, it looked like the opening shots of every Chicago 90s movie. And I was like, oh, this movie's going to be boring. Like, what is this movie? Like, it looked like, I was like, Sandra Bullock is showing up for sure. Because I think just the Chicago thing made me think of While You Were Sleeping, which I think is set in Chicago. I think.
Yes.
And so I'm like, oh my gosh, is this? And not that that's a boring movie. I love While You Were Sleeping, but I was like, oh my gosh, what's this movie? I thought this movie was gonna be cool because it's just like geese flying over a pond and a train, and I'm like, oh. And then he wakes up, and he's like, I don't know where I am. I'm supposed to be on a helicopter in Afghanistan, and then and I'm like, oh wait, Sandra Bullock is not showing up.
This is more like
fine.
Speed. This isn't While You Were
Speed, yeah.
Sleeping.
Where's Keanu? It was a cool movie, just like a great short movie. He goes through the thing like 6 or 7 times total.
Isn't that
Like that
only
we
that
see.
much? Yeah, I guess that's
I think
true.
there's a couple times
Yeah.
that they just kind of fast forward through that. It's
Yeah.
like he's waking up, he's like frustrated, and he goes back. But I kind of expected more like climax to the movie, and it's just kind of not there. Like he finds the bad guy in a normal way. You know, he goes through all the things. He finds the bad guy. They stop the bad guy, and you're like, oh. And then kind of the movie's over. I mean, you learn that, you know, where he is and how things are working kind of, and that they're going to shut him off, but they're not actually going to shut him off.
No, they
They're gonna
don't
reboot
want to
him.
shut him off. She wants to shut him off.
Yeah, he wants to get shut off eventually. He's like, now, if I finish this, will you kill me?
Yeah. But the guy doesn't want to because he's worked
'cause he's
perfectly.
Like, it works. Why wouldn't you? And it's
And
like,
supposedly there's been other test subjects and they haven't worked.
also, I agree with the guy. I think you should just reboot him.
But then he couldn't go live his life with.
Well, but now,
The one
now I'm
lady.
curious because he's living in his alternate reality with this one lady. Can they reboot him and keep using him?
I would assume if it got rebooted, he would get taken out.
There's going to be so many Jake Gyllenhaals. I don't think
am
so.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
I think that reality has now separated itself from everything.
Yeah, but in every instance that they rebooted, like took him out, he always got taken out. So my thought is, now that they've shut him off, he can live there. If they didn't shut him off or they rebooted him, it takes him out. And then I guess the guy would just become real Sean again.
Dang. Real Sean.
Yeah, dude. Can we talk about that in that alternate reality? That
Boring.
Sean is not actually dead? Where is Sean?
Wait, Sean's not dead?
Well, not really, because Jake Gyllenhaal is now in Sean. In the alternate universe.
Poor Sean is on a train somewhere.
Is he in the sunken place? Like, get out and just
No, I think
stare it
real
up, like,
Sean
at
was
TV?
in the bathroom on the train, and Jake Gyllenhaal just showed up. He's like, "Hi, I'm the new handsome Sean," and they got off the train. They went to the Bean. They're living their life, and Sean finally, because he had an upset stomach, got out of the bathroom, realized that the train is now halfway to Milwaukee, and he's like, "Wait a second,
So does he
where's
look
my girlfriend?"
like Sean? Is
He
there
looks like
two
normal
Seans?
Sean. No, there's just one Sean. So Jake
Well, no, because Jake
Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal still looks like Sean.
No.
Yeah. Because when
No.
they show the reflection in the bean, it looks like Sean.
See, that's what they want you to think. But that's what Jake Gyllenhaal is imagining. But his girlfriend sees Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh.
That's why she's so excited by him. Not because he's got this new spunky attitude, but because he looks like Jake Gyllenhaal.
Well, yeah,
she's
I mean,
like,
it's Courtney. It's
you
just
went to
like,
the,
ooh.
I know, you went to the bathroom and you came back looking like Jake Gyllenhaal. Great, this is a good life. And then poor Sean is out there looking for his girlfriend, probably gonna get murdered by Mysterio.
Yeah.
Just saying. Sorry, that's my spiel.
There's source code too.
Source code 2.
Sean's back.
Far from home. Okay. What are you gonna give the story?
There's plot holes, but everything was great.
Yeah.
196 for me.
Okay. I'm gonna
I
give it a
love it.
198.
Okay.
My biggest complaint is the first time he's like, I'm not Sean. Who's Sean? I'm supposed to be in Afghanistan. And he's very obviously not kidding for about 5 minutes. And she's like, stop being silly. It's like, your guy is obviously having like a manic episode.
Yeah.
Like, take care of him. Like something's happening.
Be like, hey, what's going on?
What's going-
You want to talk about
Stop. She just spilled coffee on your shoe. I don't know. It's weird.
it? You know what? 196, because I thought the side
You
story.
already gave it a 196.
I thought I said 195.
No.
Oh, 197 then. The side story of him calling his dad as the friend
that's
was
good.
really, really good.
That's way good.
yeah.
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 Okay, who do you ship more? Jake Gyllenhaal and Christina, or Jake Gyllenhaal and Scary Movie Lady? Because he asked her kind of on a date.
Oh, definitely Scary Movie Lady.
Oh, you want them to? Do you want to see
Yeah.
them together? You think Sean?
No. I want them together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd rather have Christina be with actual Sean?
Yes.
Boring Sean?
Yeah, boring, lame Sean.
Boring Sean who never does anything spontaneous?
Yeah.
You hate Christina that much, huh? Dang.
Yeah, dude. After Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, I just
I feel it. I feel
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Okay, acting.
I have Jake Gyllenhaal stare, and I'm trying to remember, when does he stare?
Oh, it's probably when he's staring at the dude in the bathroom. Remember, the first guy he thinks is like definitely it.
Yeah.
He's like really creepily staring at this guy
dude,
the whole
his
time.
stare's so good.
Yeah.
And then I said when he was on the phone with his dad, he did really, really good.
Yeah.
Honestly, everybody did great. I mean,
Yeah.
I would say Christina was probably the worst, but not really even bad. Just good.
Yeah.
Even the comedy guy was funny.
Yeah, he was good. Some of the people on the train were kind of lackluster for me.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, man, get off.
Yeah.
Don't mess
just
with
on
me.
my computer,
I'm
dude.
doing a business deal right now. So there's like a little, some of those guys are kind of cheesy and maybe it's the dialogue where he's like, I'm in the middle of making money right now.
Right now, making money. Go get in the bag. Close that curtain. I don't want to even see it.
So, yeah, I
Even in
mean,
my peripheral.
that's my big issue.
Snap it, shut. We're making money right now.
Brian Regan.
Brian Regan.
I'm going to give it a 195.
196.
Oh, okay.
Because Jake Gyllenhaal is cool.
Yeah. Okay.
And the villain did great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the villain was nice.
Yeah, he's good.
He was nice.
Score.
The
Opening song was good.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good. I was like, oh, okay. Like
so you're
for
like
a
slightly
second,
bored,
for a
but you're
s-
also like, oh, I like this song.
For a second, I was like, is this John Williams? And then I heard something that was definitely not John Williams. I was like, oh, okay, it's not. And then literally 2 seconds later, it popped up the name, and I believe it was Chris Bacon. Which, if he doesn't call himself, if his middle name
Crispy Bacon.
doesn't start with a B, his parents have failed. Hi, Crispy Bacon. Nice to meet you. But after the opening song, I forgot to listen to the music, so I don't really know.
I have the sound of the train hitting him. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. When he falls down.
He's a little smushy. Poor guy.
So for the opening song and for explosions, I'll give it a 171.
Okay.
Yeah. Because nothing else distracted me. Nothing else also stuck with me.
The opening song was so good, though,
So good.
that I'm like, a lot of things don't have that at all.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 175.
Okay. It was like almost Ant-Man, Bill Murray level.
Yeah. Almost.
I still need to. I
You
need
were
to
still-
find that
yeah.
song.
What if it's lame?
It
like, what if it
probably
absolutely
is.
sucks?
I listen to it again? I'm like, every episode we talk about this song, and everyone's
Yeah.
like, they play it, and it's just like this dumbest thing ever.
It's like, I'm Bill Murray and I'm coming on a ship. Ooh, 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 ooh,
Groundhog
ooh.
Day
Groundhog Day.
vibe. What's your vibe?
I loved this movie. The only complaint basically is it's hard because it's kind of like you want this grand ending and it's not there, especially to the
What were you wanting to happen? I guess
main storyline. I think I don't know if it's what I was wanting or what I was expecting, but I was kind of expecting he's going to find this bomber and it's it's an inside job, or it's Christina,
Right.
or it's something else is happening. But I think that's because that's how every other movie is.
Instead of just TV footage of the police just handcuffing him and that's it.
Well, yeah. I mean, he goes through all these things and he finds the bomber. It's a random dude on the train. He is the bomber, and they captured him. It's great, which
is the perfect ending to the story.
Is actually more realistic.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I think I just have it in my mind because every other movie is like he tries to find the bomber, but he is the bomber, right? Because I did have it in my mind for a second. I was like, what if Sean's the bomber?
That would have been a crazy
would
twist.
have been crazy twist, but it's like, I don't need crazy twists.
Yeah, what if they
I'm just expecting them.
What if they had picked the villain?
Can you imagine? He's like, I'm the bomber. I figured it out.
He never would have been able to figure it out because
that would have been really frustrating.
He would have never went off the train and done all this stuff.
It's like in Clue when it turns out it was you the whole time. That would really be a bummer if, like, can you imagine if you're a detective and you're trying to solve a serial killer case and you have completely forgotten that it was you?
Oh, you've got two different personalities and your other personality.
What if you don't even have two personalities, but you just literally forgot?
You got short-term memory loss. Dory and Finding Dory is just murdering all these fish.
And then she's like, I'm trying to figure out who's killing all these fish because I literally have no idea. Yeah, I mean, that would be hilarious. But I really enjoyed the movie a lot. High scores from me. I'm going to say 198.
199.
Okay, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You just like one up me in all the categories.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, that's not true.
No.
Actually, you did one more than me in 3 categories. So that is true.
But
and I did one more than you in one category.
And like 4 more than me in another category.
Yeah. Wow.
So you tried to 4 up me.
What's your score? What do you get total?
942.
Oof.
44.
Oof.
47.
Oof.
Lower?
943.
Oh,
missed it by that much. Which pushed me probably close to 9, 50, 40, 40, 9, 45.
Wow.
Yep.
You only got it because of mine.
Well, I mean, I did some quick math of like, okay, he was 2 above, 3 above, then I was 4, then I was 2.
So
2 above. Yeah.
That one didn't count.
No, it doesn't count.
No.
This is where things are going to get interesting because the box office is $30 million budget. My beginning guess is it made money, meaning it grossed more than $64 million.
Did it?
Roughly.
Yeah. I have my number.
I have my number 2. And I think I'm finally not going to be drastically high, like always.
I might be.
Okay. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Who's first?
I don't know.
I'll go first.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. 132.
Oh, 121 is what I was going to say.
Okay. 121 for the Craig. Craig, if you could choose your nickname, what would it be?
Craig.
Okay. You have not thought very long about that one.
No, that's the nickname that my wife gave me on my Me on the Wii.
Oh, okay.
And I've always stuck with it. Craig.
Have you ever watched any of Marcel the Shell videos? No. Did I show you any of them?
Yeah, I watched 2 of them.
Did you see the one where she's like, or I guess it's a boy technically, it just sounds like a girl because it's voiced by a girl, but he's like, you know what's sad is you can't just give yourself a nickname. Like, you don't want to know what we call you. He's like, what do you guys call me? Windy, Windy. And he's like, well, what would you give yourself as a nickname if you could? The General. But you can't give yourself a nickname. Okay, source code,
Windy.
box office, Windy. I won!
No!
$147.3 million.
Dang, okay.
Respectable on such a small budget.
I thought it was going to be high. What was America's versus International?
You know what, Craig? I'd love to give you that information. Okay. Please hold. 54.7 in the United States and Canada, and 92.6 in other territories.
So it did pretty good worldwide.
So it did pretty good domestically. Yeah. It was like what's that? 30-70.
Yeah, that's usual. Most movies on average is 30-70.
Good for them.
If it does well in both places.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. All right.
Great.
You won the first one of the year. Wow. You'll lose that soon.
Wow. What a blessing. That wasn't the first one of the year. Wasn't John Wick the first one of the year? And you won that one.
Oh.
Well, this sucks. But I did
I won the first one of the year.
But I won Harry Potter. Oh, no, but Monsters vs. Aliens. When was that?
Wait,
was that
holy
pre-Christmas? No, that was post. I don't know.
Who knows?
Anyway, the last 4, I have 3. Actually, dude, in the last 5, I have 4 of them. So I would kindly ask you to step up your game or get out.
I would kindly ask you to
Don't.
get the thing you're supposed to get me for winning last year and Avatar.
I'm working on it right now.
'Kay.
I'm saving my money, Craig.
You're waiting
it's
for your
hard to save
taxes to
up
come back.
$60,000 in a year.
Oh.
You're getting a new car. And like drive a car through the wall.
I don't want the car. I just want the 86-inch TV. That should be my present.
You don't want to. You want an 86-inch TV, but unfortunately, I got you a $60,000 car. My bad.
No,
Too bad you can't turn around and sell it.
I'm done with the podcast. See y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, well that's it.
Cool. Go watch this movie.
Guess what we gave the movie total out of 2,000. Ready, go.
1887.
Oh, 1888, Craig. Very close.
Oh, I was 943. That's right.
Oh.
Dang it. I was thinking of my original guess of 942.
1,888 out of 2,000.
883.
Ask me if this is getting out of hand. Oh, no, it's 188.
Oh, yeah, 188.
180.
1888.
18088. I'm not wrong.
Is that what we're doing now? What is that out of 2,000?
Yep. And then we'll have on a special guest and we'll see what we give it out of 3,000. Oh. And then we'll have a group. We'll have people vote and we'll see what we give it out of 40,000. Man, that movie was 38,962 out of 40,000. It's so good, man. So good. High scores, bro.
Oh, man. Okay.
Well, folks. Please.
This might be a Jake Gyllenhaal month.
You know what? It very well could be.
There's not a ton out.
Because we might be watching Nightcrawler soon.
Yeah.
And we might be watching Roadhouse
Soon.
When does that come out?
I don't know.
We're going to find out.
I think our first movie we're probably going to watch is like what? Probably Dune.
Like theaters,
Yeah.
Dune? Oh, yeah, probably. Roadhouse doesn't come out till March 8th.
Oh, okay.
Isn't there one in February? Oh, Argyle came out today.
Oh, Argyle did come out.
So we should see that.
Yeah.
Maybe soon.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any Jake Gyllenhaal in that guy, but
There's not. There's Bryan Cranston, though.
yeah. Did you know?
Digimon.
Have you seen the Work Bus episode of The Office?
I mean, I've seen all The Office. Unless
Okay.
it's on the super
No, it's a normal episode.
work bus. Just when they're on the bus?
Yeah, they're on the bus
Yeah.
because Dwight is having to, like, basically Jim pretends to find radon or something, and so they have to rent a work bus, and they go try to get pie. Bryan Cranston directed that episode.
What?
The most random thing ever to happen to the world.
Is
I just found that
is
out.
he on that show?
Nope, never, not even once. Super random. So there you go.
Was he doing Breaking Bad?
He almost definitely would have been, because Breaking Bad was like 2008 to 2013.
Yeah.
And The Office was 2005 to 2013. And Work Bus was like season 5 or 6.
Okay.
So he would have been doing Breaking Bad. And
They're
then
like,
gone
hey,
to direct.
I know you're doing meth
Hey,
right
yeah,
now.
I know you're like in the heat of your career right now.
Can
you
you
want to
come
come
direct
direct an
an
episode of The
episode?
Office? It's like, absolutely, yes. Yeah.
All right.
So there you go.
Okay. Yeah, join
Yeah.
us next week. Should be Nightcrawler. So
Should be Nightcrawler unless things get crazy and we do Argyle.
yeah,
Who knows?
we'll see.
Oh, it's the 4th season. Oh, it's the 4th episode of the 9th season. So he would have been like at the end of. He might have already finished
Oh, he might have.
filming Breaking Bad. Who knows?
Weird.
That is weird.
That's a random thing.
I thought it was earlier. Okay,
Why was there no cook on that episode?
maybe he directed Work Bus because he was already familiar with working in the bus, and by a bus I mean an RV, and by working I mean cooking meth. So, he was
So
very
it's
familiar.
actually cook RV rather than work bus.
It's all the same.
That's what they're envisioning they're doing while they're all on meth.
Yes,
Cool. Nice.
because wait, is it my turn or is it your turn?
don't know.
right. Every apple comes thinking right. Is Oprah naked?
It's Oprah.
Tip top inches. Moon everyone.
Those inches are mooning
If
everyone.
that's not enough nudity for you, then I don't know what is. Goodbye,
Is
folks.
Oprah naked or Oprah's naked?
Opera for
Okay.
sure. No, I don't want Oprah naked. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, just Jake Gyllenhaal. Bye.
That's what Courtney would want.
Yeah.